we pause to remember the late Pastor Abdul Bangura, formerly of Vimetco, Sierra Leone Holding, One Limited, Winners Chapel, Gadrich Branch, Sierra Leone, 1 year since he left us for the great beyond. Abdul was a beloved husband, son, executive, and a man of God. Pastor Abdul's kindness, warmth, and dedication to his family and community were qualities that defined his life and left a lasting impact on all who knew him. His presence brought comfort, his words brought wisdom, and his laughter brought joy. He was an incredible person. Holy the hearts that love know the sorrow of parting. Words are futile to describe the wilderness you have left us in. We are in every tear bears our secrets and open tears. Despite being away from us, we feel your loving arms wrapped around us in every step we made. You live on in hearts and memories today and every other day. Those we love don't go away. They walked beside us side by side. Unseen, unheard, but always nearby. Still loved, still missed, Abdul. A good name is better than precious ointment, and the day of death than the day of birth. Ecclesiastes 7 verse 1. From his beloved wife Caroline, Caro Baby, his loving daughter Adelia, his amazing sons Taduba, Malohima, and Sonikita, his mother Madam Kadiatu Bangura, and his extended family and friends at home and abroad. Till we meet again, continue to rest in perfect peace.
My sin not in part, but the whole is nailed to his cross.
Discover Sierra Leone, a hidden gem of West Africa, where the rhythms of life dance in harmony with the beauty of nature.
Feel the heartbeat of our culture in every beat of the drum, in every step of the dance.
Experience the tranquility of our shores, where each sunrise brings new stories and endless possibilities.
Immerse yourself in the vibrant tapestry of our daily life, where every color tells a tale and every face a friend.
Come, be enchanted by the sights and sounds of Sierra Leone.
A place where your adventure awaits
And memories are made.
I set out to cross the Ténéré in the way caravans have done for 1,000 years. It'll mean a journey of 1,200 miles over rock and sand by vehicle, camel and on foot, and it's a dangerous journey. For in this sweltering, desiccated furnace, death strikes the weak, the ill-prepared or the unlucky. They call it the land of fear.
A place cannot produce poems. It can only not prevent them. And Freetown is good at that, for Freetown has its own sudden elegances. People are slow to leave it, quick to return. And there are others who come for a year or two and stay for a lifetime, sensing that they found a city that is in the world, yet sufficiently on the edge of it to have a different resonance. Let me tell you something about this city. All of us, we're all just passing through, and we've all been here forever. Those who came, those who stayed, those who never returned. Tides turn, seasons change, we've waited and we've watched. But we've always been here. We've always listened, because there is a different resonance here. It comes from the river, and the land, and the sky.
It's our place, all of us.
This city belongs to everyone.
And you know when it's your time.
And it's our time.
Listen, we are Freetown.
We are Freetown!
The golden rules of Freetown.
Don't pretend you're something that you're not.
Don't go thinking you're better than anyone else.
Or that anyone else is better than you.
Don't shout about it. Get on with it.
We are Freetown!
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 Yeah!
We found our voice again.
I'm from India and Freetown.
I'm from China and Freetown.
I'm from the UK and Freetown.
I am from Nigeria and Freetown.
I am from home and Freetown.
This city belongs to everyone.
The fishermen,
the taxi driver,
the barber,
the drummers, the dancers.
All of us.
All of us. Everybody. We are Freetown.
The past is ours.
The future is ours. It's our time again.
And this city belongs to everyone.
The playwright,
the greengrocer,
the teacher,
the dog.
This space is ours.
This light is ours.
The beaches are ours.
The rivers now we own.
The roads are ours.
The bridges now we own.
We are Freetown.
We are all visitors and we've all been here forever.
We've got the mightiest river.
And the biggest sky.
And there's a resonance again.
Freetown. Freetown.
We are proud of this place.
We love this city.
And we want you to love it too.
We are proud of this place.
Na pass we all dey pass like stranger dem, but we all don dey from 10. Come here, and you'll feel it, that end of the line sense of freedom. Say yes to Freetown. Say yes to freedom.
We are the national broadcaster, and I am Sulaiman Baba Toure, a reporter and presenter at the SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
From the commercial department, I am Regina Bangura. You are watching SLBC. Your voice, my voice.
I am Jonathan Turner, a reporter for Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation, SLBC. As a reporter, I do stories on education, health, politics, and more. Stay glued with SLBC to watch my stories. Your voice, my voice.
Lucian Ganda, producer Weyus, and producer and presenter Christian Editions on TV. This is the SLBC.
I am William Wise, presenter Weyus and also reporter at the SLBC, and this is the SLBC.
I am Salma Tabak, television executive producer. I produce programs on both radio and television. I'm a news anchor, a presenter, an announcer on radio. I enjoy what I do because I serve a public service broadcaster. It's a pleasure to work with the SLBC. I am Tilly Koma, Head of News and Current Affairs Unit, Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. Our news hour now covers several segments. We have entertainment, business, weather, sports, ferry schedule, and human interest stories, not forgetting politics. We are doing all that to keep you people posted on what's happening all over the country. Thanks for being with us at SLBC. Keep blue, we are the best. A pleasant good morning to you and a warm welcome to News Hour. I am Esther Sako. Coming up, Ecowas Parliament embarks on fact-finding mission to Sierra Leone on government's efforts to curb drug abuse. St. George's Foundation trains local farmers in Mayanga District on modern agricultural techniques. And Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources kicks up Operation Rescue the Proposed Fish Aberland from encroachers in Black Johnson community. These stories and many more, including entertainment and sports, are all lined up in this morning's edition of News Hour. Stay with us. Welcome back. We'll begin the news this morning with one of our headline stories. A team from Ecowas Parliament has joined forces with their colleague lawmakers in Sierra Leone Parliament on a fact-finding mission to various ministries, departments and agencies to get first-hand information on drug-induced obsession and on the government's efforts to curb drug abuse and other substances. Our parliamentary correspondent Dennis Fraser was in Parliament and now reports.
The visit was intended to provide technical information as to how Ecowas Parliament could provide support to Sierra Leone through legislative framework in the fight against drug and substance abuse prevalent among young people across the country.
It's not only the health sector. We have other sectors can help us. We need to fight poverty. If you don't fight poverty, the young people can use drug. We need fight unemployment. If you have no job, you don't work, you can use drug.
The outreach, fact-finding and sensitization mission on psychoactive drugs and substances consisting the chairman of the Health Committee, Ecowas Parliament, and a team of medical experts started at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where they were received by the Director General Alan Logan, who provided a brief update on the government's response to curbing the abuse of drugs and substance abuse among young people. The team was also presented with the strategic plan employed by the government in responding to drugs and substance abuse as the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, which is responsible for cutting down the supply chain of illicit drugs, the Ministry of Social Welfare in charge of providing rehabilitation and psychosocial support to affected persons, Ministry of Health in charge of providing medical treatment to affected persons, and the Ministry of Youth Affairs in charge of skills development for affected persons. Receiving the team by the Speaker of Sierra Leone Parliament, Honorable Sengepo Solomon Thomas, the head of Sierra Leone's delegation to Ecowas Parliament, Honorable Veronica Kadisise, said that the visit was part of the 2025 work plan of Ecowas Parliament. She said it was in line with Ecowas' vision.
We acknowledge the efforts of the government of Sierra Leone in tackling these pressing issues and believe that your insights and leadership will be invaluable to our collective regional response.
The team will gather its findings and present the first-hand information to plenary to support future policy engagement to public health and youth social stability and mental health conditions. Speaker Thomas promised Parliament and government's full commitment to ensure the delegation succeed in its mission.
As leaders of West Africa, we are concerned about what is happening. Because if we continue in this kind of trajectory, it will be difficult to see a serious youth in the not distant future.
The visit will be followed by a town hall meeting with all sector players in order to inform public policies with a human-centered action approach. SLBC, Dennis Fraser reporting.
The Minister of Fisheries and Marine Resources has embarked on Operation Rescue the Proposed Fish Aberland from encroachers in Black Johnson community. The operation, which saw the demolition of structures, was also marred by allegations and counter-allegations of land compensation and distribution. Emmanuel Samora has more on that story.
Beneath the blazing sun of Black Johnson community in Ward C, dust spiraled skyward, marking the harrowing start of a state-sanctioned demolition exercise. The Davis family were in tears, having realized that their alleged property is no longer theirs, but now belongs to the state. They were in tears because they alleged that they have neither been compensated nor given an other alternative for the property they once owned.
They not talk to we will get legal land now. They not give for talk to we, no nothing. Until we hear no more now see, then they can go.
Before the commencement of the demolition exercise, the 3rd Brigade Commander of Western Area, Arslav Colonel Moriba M. Ochoa, engaged the community on the specific roles of the assigned military officers, which is limited to protecting the proposed demarcated fish harbor land.
Government don't ready for can day, the people they don't ready for can do the job. Maybe sometime in September or November.
In September.
So they don't say we can secure the place. We will not soldier them. Now order will take. We will not get flower. Nobody.
During the engagement, the Black Johnson community head woman, Awana Tubla, and other community members expressed the similar sentiment of the Davis family. Awana Tubla said they were shocked to see the commencement of the work when none of their requests has been met.
I cry because not development so that is I going to say this At
one of the resorts that falls among the demarcated fish harbor land, the owners were in tears, pleading for some time because 5 amongst their 10 chalet house will be demolished.
I say I want to give you a week. But we know what to do. If I tell you say right now they very safe, I no go tell you like say we will do nothing and that.
Responding to the claims, the Director of Surveys and Lands in the Ministry of Lands, Tamba Dauda, said they submitted the names of claimants who submitted the document of the property and their documents were verified to be legal.
The report with some the list. The way I get houses and they, but they no get document or the document not joining. Some of them I get joining documents, then documents are not falsified. Some of them not for joining. Okay, so some people get joining documents and not even allowed to. So we submit all our reports here and tell them. Then we also identify the area we fall within the foreshore.
The acting director of fisheries at the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources, Sheikh Hussein, said they compensated those whose names were sent by the Ministry of Lands in their reports. Addressing the proposed benefit they would get as a result of the fish harbor, Sheikh Hussein told the people that all of their requests would be met as per the agreement signed when the fish harbor must have been completed.
Tell you for happy. The Community Development Action Plan, schools, hospitals, water, electricity, light get for dinner Black Johnson. The project documents say for clear the land for us, let the one day we can build the harbor, make sure say that land we will say government don't get. It did it.
Both Tamba Dauda and Sheikh Hussein raised concern that plenty people continue to construct houses on the said property despite several warnings that the said land now belongs to the state. As the demolition exercise continues, the controversy that is yet to be resolved borders around compensation. Emmanuel Samura, SLBC.
To transforming agriculture in the county, the St. George's Foundation has trained 3 farming communities, including Mabang, Moshelo, and Mombomo in Moyamba District, on modern skills and techniques in farming. It was anticipated from the knowledge gain, bumper harvest awaits these local farmers. Esther Nene Kamara has more on that story.
The 3-day training held in the heart of these farming communities of Mabang, Moshelo, and Mabongo in Moyamba District was to boost food production even at community level. Here, farmers were taken through modern techniques in sustainable agriculture. Topics like effective pest control, fertilizer application, and climate-resilient farming methods were designed to ensure that farmers in those communities have sustainable and bountiful harvest. Facilitators also introduced farmers to agronomic practices, including seed viability testing, accurate spacing, and mixed cropping through live demonstrations on test farmlands. These hands-on sessions gave participants a first-hand knowledge on how modern agriculture could be both productive and eco-friendly. The atmosphere in the communities was one of excitement and renewed determination as local farmers expressed gratitude for the opportunity to learn, grow, and improve their livelihoods.
We don't give you idea we before see this don't implement we for before under agriculture.
The training has helped us with more ideas that will enable us to do well in agriculture. It equipped us with knowledge on how to grow vegetable crops and other fruits. We were also taught how to develop our farming system and the effects of bush burning.
Bush burning, waiting there and where they burn the bush, the nutrients the way they kill, where they not able to survive this way.
Today on day, with Papule, St. John Foundation, they don't call language today. How for do that in work?
Today, the St. George Foundation has taught us how to do proper garden work. They have broadened the perspective on the do's and don'ts to have bountiful harvest. We are calling on the foundation to help us with fertilizer.
So, St. John Foundation, let them help we for long get fertilizer. We go able for help we for do the work they do.
The St. George Foundation said, by strengthening the capacity of grassroots farmers, the nation will move a step closer to food self-sufficiency and economic empowerment.
Our next step is that after the training, we have to monitor the farms to see how the crops are doing, to see how the farmers are doing, because this is their livelihood. This is where they get money from. And at least to strengthen the supply chain, what they harvest is what goes to the market. To see what goes to the market and be able to attract customers that they will buy from the farmers.
With this training, the St. George Foundation has not only spread the seed of knowledge, but also planted new hope for agriculture transformation in these communities, providing them with the right skills and brighter, greener future. For Slbc News, Ténéré Kamara reporting.
The Media Reform Coordination Group MRCG, with an internationally based organization, Paradigm Initiative, has engaged journalists on digital rights for journalists and how they could use digital tools to detect misinformation and disinformation. Moses Conte has more.
Facilitators focused on digital rights using the media context, digital threat, and security, among other topics. These issues were handled during the one-day session for journalists on how to navigate through various legislations restricting not only their right to access information but freedom of expression, violating Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human and People's Rights. Regional Lead, Paradigm Initiative West Africa Region, Khadija El-Usman said it was the right of journalists to express themselves freely and not a privilege. She said the session was also to educate media people on their right to access information.
Access to the internet, the ability to express yourself freely, securely, and without fear is not a privilege, it is a fundamental human right. So what we do is to support communities, organizations, and governments in building a digital space that is safe, inclusive, and respectful of all rights.
According to the coordinator, Media Reform Coordinating Group, Dr. Francis Soa, such an opportunity was for media practitioners to embrace, adding that was the right path for the media landscape to thrive.
We are confident that with these kinds of sessions, we'll try to achieve the big goal, which is to ensure the challenges in the digital space are addressed. If we continue to do this, I am sure we'll get to a point in which we'll be able to understand our digital rights, protect them, and also use them for the furtherance of our work.
The session ended with a clarion call on authorities to reverse, enact, amend, and remove certain legislations that are barriers to media freedom and access to information. Moses Conte, Slbc.
In a significant move towards enhancing law enforcement, the Sierra Leone Police and the Campaign for Human Rights and Development International have conducted a comprehensive training program for 70 investigators and custody officers in the Western area. The initiative, which aimed at promoting respect for human rights within the police force, brought together officers from various divisions in the Western area. Let's hear from Christina Kamara for more on that story.
The 1991 Constitution of Sierra Leone explicitly protects fundamental human rights and freedoms of the individual. Chapter 3 of the Constitution, titled the recognition and protection of fundamental human rights and freedoms of the individual, outlines these rights, which include the rights to life, liberty, security of person, and the protection of law. It also guarantees freedom of conscience, expression, assembly, and association, as well as respectful private and family life. In this respect, the Sierra Leone Police and Campaign for Human Rights and Development International highlighted some human rights violation complaints they have received so far, which prompted them to conduct a training focused on critical aspects of human rights, equipping officers with the knowledge and skills necessary to uphold the rights of individuals in their custody and during investigations.
We have monitored the police detention, and we discovered that there are several human rights violations and abuses, and we shared those findings with the Police Inspector General and his team. They asked us to give our own support, and we said in return we will provide training for police officers. So,
key topics covered included international and national human rights laws, the ethical treatment of detainees, and conflict resolution strategies. Director of Training of the Sierra Leone Police, AIG Mustafa Kamara, spoke on transparency, accountability, fairness, and respect for human rights. He said police officers should maintain high standards of integrity, impartiality, accountability, and respect for human rights when interacting with the public and suspects.
Empowering police officers to protect human rights. There is no way we can carry out our duties or execute our functions perfectly if we lose sight of human rights.
During the session, facilitators emphasized the importance of human rights in policing, noting that as law enforcement officers, it is their duty to protect the rights of every individual regardless of their circumstances. The training also stressed the need for proper use of force, effective communication, and maintaining high professional standards to build and retain public trust. Participants engaged in interactive discussions, group activities, and case studies that highlighted the real-world implications of human rights violations.
Has been learned briefly, looking at ethics at work is like a vaccine that provides the necessary, treatment towards, behaving professionally towards individuals that you come in contact with.
What I've learned here today is not just going to be within myself. I will make sure that I cascade the information to others that are not opportune to be here today. And besides, we are going to put it into practice because human rights issue is not something to downplay.
Training is part of Sierra Leone Police and Campaign for Human Rights and Development International broader strategy to fostering a culture of accountability and transparency within the force. Slbc News are in Freetown. Christiana Kamari reporting.
President Julius Maada Bio has been elected as chairperson of the Ecowas Authority of Heads of State and Government. His election is said to be a significant development in West African regional politics. President Bio is succeeding President Bola Tinubu of Nigeria, who resumed as chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government of Ecowas on July 9, 2023. After his election in Guinea-Bissau, he hosted his last meeting on Sunday, June 22, 2025, as the leader of the sub-regional bloc. As the new chairman, President Bio is expected to bring fresh perspectives and ideas to the role, building on foundation laid by his predecessor. ECOWAS, established in 1975, aims to promote economic integration and cooperation among its 15 member states. The organization's objectives include creating a single market, enhancing trade, and fostering economic development in the region. As the new chairman, President Bio's leadership will be critical in navigating the complex issues facing the region. The new chairman will work closely with the ECOWAS Commission and member states to advance the organization's goal. Now, from the presidency, for years, the Anabeka-Coca state in central Freetown was known for its chaotic atmosphere. It has many things: a meeting point for students, a bustling hub for traders, and a parking ground for tricycle riders. The route was infamous for being a dumping site in the heart of the city, but the state tells a different story, as Esther Susanette Bassi finds out in this report.
I'm currently at Anabeka-Coca Street, looking at the latest development that has been ongoing for the past 3 months. This place, as you can see, used to be a dump site. This place used to be a parking space for commercial vehicles, especially the keke riders and drivers.
Through the Transform Freetown initiative of the Freetown City Council, with supports from the World Bank, the once clustered Anabeka-Coca Street has been transformed into an attractive garden, a haven for rest and relaxation. The garden is arranged with wooden benches, canopies that offer shade from the sun, and well-planted trees that add a refreshing green touch to the urban landscape. Citizens now have a serene environment where they can rest, enjoy a meal, or simply saunter in the peaceful surroundings. Many could hardly believe their eyes that this place, which used to be a complete mess, filled with waste and unbearable stench, could be transformed into this eye-catching shrub in the city. The redevelopment of Anabeka-Coca Street has brought a sense of pride to residents. It is no longer a neglected corner of the city, but a cherished landmark.
Have so much potential. It's not, it's not as fully reflected. And she's like, why don't you have more tourists? But we know why we don't have more tourists. And it's because of us not making it easy. So it has a natural beauty, but you need to harness that beauty. And doing the Anabeka-Coca Street is just one of those little things that we are doing to improve on the aesthetic experience in the city. So that you're not just seeing, that space was occupied by traders and Okada keke riders. So transforming it from a keke park to a green space is helping us encourage more investments in tourism. It's demonstrating and showing people, helping people to see at first glance the beauty that's in the city.
Many citizens commend the FCC for its efforts in turning an overlooked space into a functional and beautiful addition to the city.
Even though it is a good initiative, I am as well appealing to the government to construct footpath on the other side of the road in order to complement this effort and keep pedestrians from the vehicular traffic.
It is really in a better state now compared to when it was a parking space for commercial riders and a dump site. The situation was seriously affecting people in this area because of the environmental noise all over the streets.
However, not everyone is completely satisfied. Some commercial riders who previously used the space as a resting area have expressed concerns. They claimed the transformation, while beneficial, has limited their operations, making it difficult to find a convenient place to wait for passengers.
For the affection,
actually, this is a good development, but the problem now is that we do not have a convenient place to park anymore. We labored hard for this space just to be kicked out without any provision for another lot.
While the garden has received widespread praises, there are now growing calls for similar projects across the city. Many believe that replicating this initiative in other parts of Freetown would significantly enhance the capital's overall appeal. Upon completion of the garden, it is therefore hoped that citizens would maintain it for its intended purpose. For SLBC News, Esther Susanette Bassi reporting.
The Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Association recently held a crucial symposium during the Media Congress. It was focused on monkeypox disease and global health security. The session looked at lessons, gaps, and future directions needed to safeguard Sierra Leone's health. Here's the story. With over 4,000 confirmed cases and 100 still in healthcare facilities, the Sierra Leone Medical and Dental Association hosted a crucial symposium during its media congress aimed at tackling issues around monkeypox and boosting global health security. SLMDA President Dr. Freddie Coker described the symposium as an essential platform not only for scientific dialogue but also for medical professionals to advocate for a stronger, secure health system.
So I think our association will have a very great role to play in terms of educating the public, and secondly in terms of case management. When we have individuals who are infected, I think we are very committed to enhancing the capacity of our members so that when they come in contact with patients who are infected, they will be better placed to offer them the best available management.
Dr. Sylvanus Bangura, District Medical Officer at McKinney Government Hospital, noted the seriousness of monkeypox, stressing that since Sierra Leone recorded its first case about 10 months ago, and so far over 4,000 confirmed cases have been looked into and managed. He called for collaboration in tackling monkeypox. Case management lead, the National Public Health Agency, Dr. Agnes Bangura, said there were severe complications of the disease, including sepsis, severe anemia, and encephalitis. She said the current patient care pathways were with 933 active cases and 182 receiving facility care. She added the challenges were but not limited to diagnostic capacity, limited access to vaccine, and the urgent need to combat stigma and misinformation.
Knowledge gap. So there are so many things we don't know about monkeypox. We don't know the actual animal reservoir. Those are things that we are not too clear about. And the limited testing capacity, we have just 5 in the whole country. So that's why we can see we are having challenges with the turnaround time from the lab and things like that.
Mayor of McKinney, His Worship Abubakar Kamara, urged for transparent, rapid information sharing and proactive community engagement to protect citizens from the outbreak.
We have seen the undeniable impact of equitable health care access in combating mpox. We must commit to ensuring that vulnerable populations are prioritized in our health strategies.
The association used the occasion to launch its 5-year strategic plan, which will focus on membership growth, financial sustainability, community engagement, advocacy, capacity building, and research. A key message from the session was clear, which is for Sierra Leone to effectively respond to health crises like monkeypox. Increased funding and strong community ownership were critical. Slbc News. Esther Sako reporting. If you're just joining in, this is News Hour coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation from Freetown. We continue with more stories. In a unique show of appreciation and community engagement, the Media Network Movement has conducted a door-to-door award presentation in Lungi Kafubulum Chiefdom, Port Loko District. It was done to recognize individuals and institutions for their exceptional contributions to local development. Aminata Bangura went along.
Certificate of recognitions award to Mr. Mosuri Anu Kanu for tremendous and outstanding contributions in the mechanical sector as the CEO for Anko Garage.
Rather than hosting a formal ceremony, representatives from the Media Network Movement chose a different format to appreciate people in local communities. They delivered certificates of recognition to the awardees at the doorstep of their homes and even workplaces. This approach was intended to bring the spirit of appreciation directly to the people, even at the grassroots level. The door-to-door initiative was designed to mark of recognition more personal and impactful, showing gratitude to those who continue to uplift the Kafubulum community in diverse ways. The National Coordinator for Media Network Movement, Abraham Isaac Mansare said the door-to-door move was also meant to appreciate their tremendous work and to motivate them and others to do even more.
The mandate here is for us to recognize institutions or individuals for their hard working, right? And also to intervene when we are needed as media and civil society. I think that is our role to play in the society.
In the business category, Adnan Supermarkets was recognized for its consistent support to national development and was named the best supermarket in the region. Manager of Adnan Supermarkets, Mohamed Lamin Kamara, said he was very happy about the award as it was unexpected and marked the first time to have received such of recognition.
Really amazing because we not really expect this, like the first time for somebody from the media, just come and say, yes, we'll get an award for you, Shituna.
I am very happy because this was the first time to have received such recognition. I believe this award will go a long way in motivating others to do even more.
We don't say with this award, this will go a long way and this will help the business and will go.
In the mechanical field, Mosire Ankanu, CEO of Anko Garage, was awarded for his outstanding contributions and dedications to community development through his mechanical service and youth employment efforts. He said he started his work as a mechanic in 1980 when he was in class 3. He added that he has trained many young people over the years, some of whom now own their own garages.
So people in the pool, the people in there, and they can't give me. Train there.
I feel happy and honored to have received this award. It means a lot to me, especially knowing that it could go viral. This recognition has truly motivated me to continue doing what I have been doing.
This is like big respect. I don't tell me what say. The work they do like continue for go.
In the health sector, Mr. Geba Yakumba Sam, the community health officer in charge of the Police Community Health Center in Lunge, was awarded a certificate of recognition for his tremendous and outstanding contributions in the health sector. For Idrissa Kabo, he was awarded as the best healer in the area because of his long-standing service in traditional medicine and community wellness. This grassroots recognition effort aims to motivate more community members to take ownership of development and contribute meaningfully to nation building. SLBC, Aminata Bangura reporting.
The Youth and Children Empowerment Forum Africa hosted its 4th annual National Sierra Leone Women in Environmental Health and Research Associate Awards and fundraising dinner. The event was to support the fight against sexual and gender-based violence on the theme Then They Walk, in the show and with the film. Joyan Dumbuya was at the ceremony and now reports.
That each generation of women are no longer silent. We're stronger and smarter than we're...
The Youth and Children Environmental Forum Africa has consistently worked to organize individuals and organizations making remarkable steps in the fight against gender-based violence, as well as in the medical fields and environmental health research. This year's event saw the tireless efforts of advocates, health professionals, and community leaders who have been making real change across the country. One of the event's notable honorees was Deputy Minister of Tourism, Dr. Khadija Grace Kamara, who received an award for her contribution to women's health and empowerment. In her acceptance speech, Dr. Kamara used the platform to officially launch a new campaign encouraging women and girls to share their stories through one plug. A safe and supportive storyline initiative. If you can say it, you can also do it, she said, emphasizing the power of voice in healing and change.
What of Hope for Girls is deeply personal to me because I did not have that privilege, but then now I'm standing at a place, a point and a platform where I can give that platform to younger ones or fellow women that are willing and ready to grow. As it is famously called Pot of Hope, is for you to forget your brokenness, your loss, your triumphs, for you to celebrate and adjust your sister's crown.
Legal practitioner and human rights advocate Mohamed Fofana also expressed his pride by being part of the ceremony that uplifts the voices of young change makers.
I'm glad that over the years, because of the work that we did, a lot of young people, women and children
transformed into meaningful citizens, and that is basically what we advocated for, to ensure that those children who society thought were bad or were not kind of good in society were transformed.
Members of the organization reaffirmed commitment to empowering Sierra Leonean women in environmental and health research. The fundraising dinner also aimed to generate support for Youth and Children Empowerment Forum, ongoing sexual gender-based violence response program, advocacy workshops, and grassroots empowerment efforts. For SLBC, Julian Dumbuya. It's now time for us to go in for international news.
Welcome to the international news. I am Aminata Fofana. Iran's judiciary says the Israeli military has struck Tehran's notorious Evin prison and damaged part of the facility which holds many political detainees. The judiciary's Mizan news agency reported that the situation on the ground was under control following the attack. Israel's defense minister said it was hitting regime, targets and agencies of government repression across Tehran, including Evin. The military also said it had struck access routes to the Fordo uranium enrichment plant south of Tehran. Iranian ballistic missiles also struck various locations across Israel on Monday. One hit an industrial area in the coastal city of Ashdod close to a power station. Electricity supplies were disrupted in some areas. 10 days ago, Israel launched a large-scale air campaign against Iran, saying it aimed to remove what it called the existential threats of the country's nuclear and ballistic missile programs. The United Nations has issued a grave warning about the deteriorating situation in Sudan, describing the conflict as a crisis of humanity with devastating consequences for millions of civilians. According to the UN's Dependent International Fact-Finding Mission for Sudan, the use of heavy weaponry in the densely populated areas has surged, leading to widespread death, displacement and suffering. Aid agencies are struggling to respond, hampered by deliberate obstruction. The Red Cross reports that the conflict has forced over 11 million Sudanese from their homes, while tens of thousands have been killed or wounded. The crisis is compounded by continued arms smuggling into the country despite a UN-imposed arms embargo. 2 years into the brutal power struggle between the Sudanese army and the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces, peace efforts remain elusive. Mali's transitional president, General Assimi Goïta, has arrived in Moscow on a 5-day official visit following an invitation from his Russian counterpart, Vladimir Putin. The talks come ahead of the Russia-Africa summit and are aimed at reinforcing bilateral ties between the two countries. Goïta came to power following coups in 2020 and 2021, and Mali has since turned away from the West in favor of closer ties with Moscow. In May, the junta dissolved all political parties aimed at a growing crackdown on dissent and announced that Goïta would stay in power for at least another 5 years, despite repeated pledges to hold elections. The interim president's visits to Moscow come shortly after Russia's paramilitary Wagner Group was replaced in Mali by its successor Africa Corps. And Kenya is on the edge as the country prepares for the first anniversary of the June 2024 protest. Thousands gathered on the streets last year to protest the government's controversial finance bill and its heavy tax rises. Demonstrators stormed the parliament's building in Nairobi on 2025, and Kenya is on the edge as the country prepares for the first anniversary of the June 2024 protest. Thousands gathered on the street last year to protest the government's controversial finance bill and its heavy tax rises. Demonstrators stormed the parliament's building in Nairobi on June 25, 2024, with police opening fire on the crowd. President William Ruto withdrew the bill the next day.
Opposition leaders and youth groups have vowed to return to the streets in honor of those who died in the Gen Z-led movements. According to rights group, over 60 people were killed and 82 forcibly or involuntarily disappeared over the course of the demonstrations. The Nairobi police assured victims' families that Wednesday's memorial rally would be secured. Families called for a peaceful assembly. They will demand justice for their loved ones, police reform, and an end to extrajudicial killings and abductions in the country. But that's the international news. I'm Aminata Fofana.
From international news, we move on to entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to another exciting entertainment news with me, Abdul Mansari. In this edition of entertainment news, Ministry of Tourism hosts Night of Fashion Design. Natasha Beckley sets to drop video of African Spoiled song. And of course, we have Nigerian artist Patu Ranking sets to visit Sierra Leone on the opening of a nightclub. Chapter 1. Now, in a groundbreaking fashion program aimed at celebrating inclusion through style, creativity, and cultural expression, the Ministry of Tourism with other ministries and partners have concluded their Night of Fashion and Elegance, which said to be a great success, leaving a lasting impression on attendees. Christiana Kamara witnessed the event.
The event, which took place at Lagunda, Aberdeen in Freetown, was a momentous occasion with color and creativity. The program featured a collection of talented designers who showcased their work, highlighting the rich fabric of Sierra Leonean culture through innovative textile artistry and fashion design. From traditional garments to contemporary pieces, the runway was a celebration of the diverse identities that make up the nation's fabric. The event was particularly significant for the Sierra Leone Association of Persons with Albinism, which played a pivotal role in the program.
We are gathered here for the albino community. Persons with albinism have for long been denied access to crucial spaces, stigmatized, and made to endure all manner of superstition for their skin tone.
Designers and models from the association, including the Minister and Deputy Minister of Tourism and Cultural Affairs, Minister of Gender and Children's Affairs, Minister of Technical and Higher Education, the Mayor of Freetown, among others, showcased their talents, challenging stereotypes and promoting awareness about albinism in a society where misconceptions often prevail. Throughout the event, attendees enjoyed not only fashion shows, but also discussions focused on the importance of inclusion in the fashion industry. Renowned speakers and industry experts shared insights on how to create more accessible platforms for marginalized groups, emphasizing the need for the fashion world to reflect the society it serves.
We've been advocating since 2015-2016, and I think now the Ministry of Tourism is looking us with a green light, because honestly it comes about us applying for a proposal that we wrote, that 2 people with albinism will be representing Sierra Leone on the Mr. and Miss Albinism, first ever in Africa.
The program wrapped up as many expressed hope for future collaborations that will continue to promote inclusivity in various sectors.
That was indeed a great fashion night organized by the Ministry of Tourism. Moving away from that, Natasha Beckley, one of Sierra Leone's best female rappers, has set to drop the video of her recent song titled African Spoil. The rapper informed everyone on her Blue App page by saying, "Dropping African Spoil video soon, a track produced by Da Young on my double project, soon to be released, Freetown's finest." This song is already making waves on Audiomack as fans await its release, whilst appreciating the costumes and settings of the video teaser.
Oh, I'm African spoiled. Let's go. Hey, was spoiled rotten, ain't gotta lift a damn finger. This my nigga, bitch, don't touch, this my kinga. Breast big, that ass fat, I'm full figured. Stretch marks, I'm most trunks, it's big tigger. Red bottoms, I walk up these staircases. Money stacked in bank accounts or briefcases.
That was indeed another great song and costume put together by Natasha Beckley. And finally, one of Nigerians' best Afrobeats and reggae dancehall singers, Patoranking, has set to visit Sierra Leone on the 28th June 2025. He was said to be here to witness the grand opening of Chapter 1 nightclub, which is owned by one of the biggest businessmen in the country, Fasali Tarawali. The club, according to many, is anticipated to be one of the biggest nightclubs in the country.
Yes, my saloon people, yes, catch me live on the 28th of June, the grand opening of Chapter 1. Yes, Chapter 1, the best place to be in Freetown. We are coming. Patoranking is coming live. So I see you on the 28th of June, you don't know. Boom!
Wow! We can't wait to see you, Patoranking. Well, that's all we have in this edition of Entertainment News. And now I've been your presenter, Abdul Mansari. Bye-bye.
From entertainment, we move on to sport updates.
It's the sporting updates that keeps you in the know. And thank you so much for your time. Today we begin this edition with football. Now the Leone Premier League is shaping up to be an exciting occasion for obvious reasons. Eastern Lions are still leading the table with 51 points, having played 24 matches, while they defeated Loa FC 3-2 to extend their lead at the top of the table. Eastern Lions is one of the teams to reckon with in Sierra Leone football, and in fact they've gone further in producing some of the finest names in Sierra Leone football. And equally, the head coach of Eastern Lions, Mohamed Lamin Kamara, was named as the coach of the month for May, and Mighty Blackpool's Sulaiman Conte was equally named as the player of the month for May, an exciting achievement for this young and promising Mighty Blackpool player who is aiming to take his team from the relegation zone to a better height in the league as well. Well, the Leone Premier League 2024-2025 is an ideal occasion for players who are aiming to excel in the game. And in the international scene, we flip our attention to the International Olympic Day. Well, it's indeed a lovely day and an exciting one for Olympic stars on the continent and equally the Olympic movement. And the handing over ceremony as well from Thomas Bach to Coventry Christie, or Christie Coventry if you like. This is the very first time an African woman is heading the IOC, the International Olympic Committee. President Thomas Bach tenure has been marked by vision and resilience from his beginnings as an Olympic champion. Bach led the IOC through transformative reforms and unprecedented challenges. His leadership has fostered greater inclusion, gender equality and sustainability, leaving the Olympic movement stronger and more unified. Well, they welcome Christie Coventry as the new IOC president and Olympic champion from Zimbabwe. Coventry brings fresh energy and values shaped by sports built on inclusion, innovation and collaboration. Her leadership will continue to drive the Olympic movement towards greater success. Congratulations to Christie and all the best for the years to come. She is truly a role model for aspiring athletes on the continent. Past and present athletes are hoping that they will one day emulate her shining examples. And that ends your updates. See you next time.
Many thanks there to Abdul Kabir for the latest updates in sports. Well, from there, that's how we draw the curtains of the news this morning. But before we go, a quick recap of our main points. A team from Ecowas Parliament has joined forces with their colleague lawmakers in the Sierra Leone Parliament on a fact-finding mission to the country to get first-hand information on government efforts to curb drug abuse and other substances. To transforming agriculture in the country, the St. George's Foundation has trained 3 training farming communities, including Magban, Moshelo, and Magboma in Moyamba district, on modern skills and techniques in farming. And the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources has embarked on Operation Rescue the proposed fish arbor land from encroachers in Black Johnson community. The operation saw the demolition of structures was marred by allegations and counter-allegations of land compensation and distribution. That's it for news this morning. Thanks for spending time with us. Continue to stay with the public broadcaster, the SLBC, if you can. Up next is Good Morning Sierra Leone. Have a wonderful day. I am Esther Sako. Goodbye.
Discover Sierra Leone, a hidden gem of West Africa, where the rhythms of life dance in harmony with the beauty of nature.
Feel the heartbeat of our culture in every beat of the drum, in every step of the dance.
Experience the tranquility of our shores, where each sunrise brings new stories and endless possibilities.
Immerse yourself in the vibrant tapestry of our daily life, where every color tells a tale and every fear's a friend.
Come, be enchanted by the sights and sounds of Sierra Leone.
A place where your adventure awaits.
And memories are made.
Today is Tuesday, the 24th of June, 2025. Good morning and a hearty welcome to your program, Good Morning Sierra Leone, the program that starts your day with analysis and views on current happenings in the country. We are your presenters. I am Esther Sapo.
And I am Emmanuel Samura. A quote of the day is from Yuan Ryan, and it says, "Motherhood is about raising and celebrating the child you have, not the child you thought you would have. Interesting.
Coming up in this edition of the program, purposeful issue statement on safe motherhood and reproductive health care bill.
Tripartite Secretariat to update on recent stakeholders' engagement with various electoral bodies.
And West African Examination Council WAEC to provide comprehensive updates on 2025 WASC and BECE. All the stories and many more are lined up in this edition of the program, and you can be a part of the conversation by sending your text message to the number displayed on your screen or send your comments on our Facebook page at SLBC Live. The program is Good Morning Sierra Leone. Stay with us.
Well, the program you're watching is Good Morning Sierra Leone live on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. We start the discussion proper to our first headline story. Despite ongoing effort by Sierra Leone's Ministry of Health to reduce the country's high mortality rate, recent data reveal a troubling reality. 23% of teenage girls die due to unwanted pregnancies, and 82% of illegal abortions lead to complications. In response to this crisis, the Ministry of Health introduced the Safe Motherhood and Reproductive Health Care Bill, a groundbreaking initiative aimed at not only improving maternal and child health, but to significantly reduce infant mortality and complications related to childbirth and stillbirth. Recognizing the urgency and potential impact of this legislation, Purposeful, one of the leading feminist movements alongside its partners, has issued a strong statement in support of the bill, which they describe as a vital step forward, a lifeline for Sierra Leonean women and girls across the country. To unpack the significance of this bill and the advocacy around it, we have been joined in the studio by two distinguished guests, Dr. Aisha Fofana Ibrahim, lecturer and African feminist scholar, and Juliet Mamawa Kaikai, political advocacy consultant. Good morning, the two beautiful ladies.
Morning.
Good morning. Okay, I will start with Dr. Aisha Fofana. Doctor, you're an African feminist, and we are hearing this particular Safe Motherhood Bill and all the controversies that surrounds it. As an African feminist, how do you view this bill?
Well, I think first of all we need to thank the Ministry of Health for really centering the well-being of Sierra Leonean women and girls. So African feminism is centered around paying great attention to the needs, experiences of African women and girls, and this is one way of showing that you really care about their well-being and their experiences. For me, I'm 100% in support of this bill because what it does is really protect women and girls. What this bill does is ensure that the health and well-being, especially the reproductive health of young people, of older women, of women and girls generally, is really looked into from all angles. So whether it's the prevention, whether it's abortion, whether it's maternal care, and so on and so forth, it does deal with this bill. So the focus on one aspect of the bill is really, I don't think people are really reading the bill. We should focus on the bill in its entirety. Look at all the things that the bill says. What's the responsibility of the state? Because some people will say, well, as it is, we don't even have blah, 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 blah. But it says the state should provide those things. So you can only hold people accountable when there's a law. So if there's no law, you will not hold them accountable in that way. So if this bill says we can support women and girls that want to terminate pregnancy. And here we are saying, well, we don't even have the equipment, we don't have this. But the bill says it should be provided. So the care should be holistic and it should be provided. So I think this is a bill that we should all be supporting at this point.
So the area of controversy with regards to this bill is the area of them saying a woman can abort a baby when he or she wants, because that has been the controversy around the religious community and also other set of people. So what in the area of abortion do you support the ministry putting up a bill that is saying that women have the rights to abort babies?
100%. I support them 100%. About this and why? And this is because the bill does not say you just wantonly go abort a baby. So there are conditions, isn't it, that we have to respect. But again, we have to respect women's choices and their bodily autonomy. So if I know this pregnancy is not right for me, then there must be some reasons for a woman to want to abort that baby. Nobody wakes up in the morning and uses abortion as a contraception. I think we have to have that very clear. It's something people think about and they know the disadvantages are more than the advantages. I'm a Muslim, I'm a practicing Muslim, and even in Islam it says ensoulment. That's the central part of it. It talks about ensoulment. What is ensoulment? When it becomes life. It's 120 days. So anything before then, there's empathy for the woman. If the woman's life is in danger, if the fetus is malformed, or whatever. Even Islam permits that. Before ensoulment, it says that. So the Islamic scholars have been arguing back and forth on the meaning of ensoulment and when it takes place. But because the religion itself is very empathetic, it cares about the well-being of women, the lives of women. It gives that condition if based on certain things.
So let me bring in Juliet. Juliet, as a political advocacy individual, you know, I remember the last time you guys went over there and won that case, you know, and looking at the makeup of Sierra Leone and how things happens, how we usually do things. How do you view this particular bill?
I think the bill is self-explanatory. It reflects what is actually happening in Sierra Leone. It reflects the realities and needs of Sierra Leonean women. It reflects, and the data as well shows, right? In 2019 we had 717 deaths per 100 lives back. In 2022 it reduced to 443 100 life baths, and then the aim is by 2023 for us to have 70 deaths per 100,000 life baths, sorry. And what that means is, as a woman, you're at risk of dying whenever you think about reproducing, right? And so we need to have a framework, and when you look at the objectives of the bill, it recognizes what is lacking, and it then puts a responsibility on the Ministry of Health to safeguard the rights and lives of women. One of the objectives is to ensure that the enabling environment is provided for the reduction of maternal and child morbidity and mortality. It also provides for the access to quality, safe motherhood and reproductive care. And it also creates a framework for the protection and advancement of sexual reproductive rights. But what are sexual reproductive rights? Because sometimes it's like people do not quite understand what these rights are that we're advocating for. And so they do not see themselves within the advocacy of it. Sexual reproductive rights simply means an individual having the complete physical, emotional, and social well-being in everything relating to the reproductive system. So it means you need to have the opportunity, not even the opportunity, you need to just wake up one morning and say,
let us have such a system in place. These are in line with our international obligations. A lot of what's provided in the bill, when you read about what the United Nations, whether it's the Maputo Protocol, what it's recommending to state, these are what are provided in the bill. So the Ministry of Health is just acting in line with our international obligations, which also reflects what are the challenges that Sierra Leone is faced with in terms of reproductive justice for women and girls.
So let us know if this bill is passed into law, how will this control the area of, because the recent data that we revealed said 23% of teenage girls die due to unwanted pregnancy and 82% of illegal abortions lead to complications. So let's say this bill is passed into law. How
regarding abortion is provided for by the Offences Against the Persons Act that was passed in 1861. And I think sometimes when we say that, I feel like we have to whisper it. As a country, in 2025, almost 2 centuries later, when it comes to the issue of abortion, it's regulated by a law that was passed in 1861. And what this law provides for is that when a woman is with child and she makes an effort to procure her own miscarriage, she's committed an offense, and if found guilty, she could be she could be sentenced to life imprisonment or 2 to 3 years with or without her baby, based on the discretion of the judge. And if a person supports a woman to procure an abortion, and obviously at that time in 1861 it's really medical practitioners, that's the concept. There have been cases where, and most of the time the reason why these cases come up is